Hi fans, welcome to Rampego TV channel. Today I'm going to talk about the majority of fans now supporting Lisa and Jungkook's relationship. In a very surprising development in the South Korean entertainment universe, a major shift has taken place in public attitudes towards two of today's biggest K-pop icons, BLACKPINK's Lisa and BTS's Jungkook. If earlier rumors of a relationship between the two were always met with doubts, condemnation, or denial from most fans, now the voices sound much different. The majority of fans from both sides showed signs of support. What caused this drastic change? What is really going on behind the camera and the official words of the agency? Initially, the relationship between Lisa and Jungkook developed only in the realm of fan speculation. There were no direct statements, no official photos together, and no clarifications from the agency. However, a number of moments captured on camera, the similarity of locations uploaded in close proximity to unusual gestures on stage, became enough fuel to form a theory and belief that something was happening between the two. But even more surprising was not the appearance of these rumors, rather, how the reaction of fans has now turned from rejection to acceptance. The phenomenon of this change in attitude has become apparent in the last 2 years. Comments on social media that were once full of condemnation are now filled with support. In fact, in a number of online surveys conducted by the fanbase community, more than 65% of respondents stated that they not only support Lisa and Jungkook being in a relationship, but would also like to see both of them open up more. Why is this happening now? Are fans already tired of the illusion of perfection that the K-pop industry has built up over the years? In many respects, that answer could be correct. The Korean entertainment industry has been known to be very strict in maintaining the image and privacy of idols, especially about personal relationships. Romantic relationships are considered taboo because they can disrupt the image and decrease fan loyalty. However, the current generation of fans shows maturity and a more realistic approach. They no longer see idols as their own, but as human beings who have the right to live a personal life, including relationships. Lisa and Jungkook are two very strong figures individually. The popularity of both is not only in Korea, but also globally. They have a vast and multinational fan base, most of whom are from the younger generation and Gen Z. This generation is known to be more open, value honesty more, and are more resistant to imposed images. When two figures like Lisa and Jungkook show the slightest sign of closeness, whether through expression, coincidence of location, or indirect interaction, fans no longer react angrily, but rather curious and even happy. This change in narrative is not only happening in the comment space, but is also visible in various forums and online communities. The topic of Lisa and Jungkook is now more about in-depth discussion and visual analysis than personal attacks or hate speech. Even some big fan sites are starting to dare to upload photo collages or put together analysis threads that indirectly support their possible relationship. One of the most significant turning points was when both were allegedly in Paris at the same time for personal schedules. Although there are no photos of the two of them together, the similarity in the background of the photos, the upload time, as well as the indirect testimony of some fans who were on site became the basis of increasingly strong theories. Instead of being flooded with accusations of fan deluge as usual, these uploads were actually welcomed warmly and full of hope. Not only that, the analysis of gestures when performing at major events is also a separate concern. Lisa, in several of her appearances, appeared to show an incredible spirit that fans called out of the ordinary. So is Jungkook, who in some moments appears with a soft expression when asked about his personal inspiration or motivation. Fans were quick to attribute this as a form of hidden emotional support for each other. However, the most interesting thing is how the agencies of both artists chose to remain silent. Usually, if there are rumors that are too wild or detrimental to the image, the agency will immediately release a clarification or refutation. In the case of Lisa and Jungkook, there is no rebuttal. There is no clarification. No affirmation. Shut up. And for some fans, silence means letting the interpretation run its course. Or even, silence can mean not resisting. This situation suggests that perhaps, for the first time, the industry is beginning to make room for organically growing relationships without the harsh intervention of management. If true, then this could be the beginning of a new era in K-pop, where relationships between idols are no longer a taboo, but rather part of their human narrative as individuals. This shift also shows how enthusiasts have great power in shaping the direction of industrial policy. If fans are mature and accept the fact that idols are ordinary people, then the pressure that usually comes from the public will be reduced. And perhaps even agencies feel that there is no need to hide something that is actually not wrong. Lisa and Jungkook, despite their actual relationship, have become symbols of a change in fan-idol dynamics. They reflect how public figures can slowly erode social boundaries that were previously considered unbreakable. When fans voice their support, it's not just about love between two people, but also about personal freedom, the right to choose, and an appreciation for life behind the scenes. What makes the majority of fans now support this relationship? Perhaps because they see the honesty behind the gestures. Perhaps because they realize that idol happiness does not have to be a betrayal of fan loyalty. And it may also be because they begin to believe that love, even in a world as tightly controlled as K-pop, can still grow. Is Lisa and Jungkook's relationship real? No one can be sure except themselves. But clearly, the climate of support that is now forming gives them the space to be whatever they want to be. In their silence, stored the freedom that many public figures have been looking for so far, the right to determine their own private life, without having to lose the love of those who most faithfully support. This is an ongoing phenomenon. Not just gossip, not even momentary euphoria. This is the result of a transformation in the mindset of fans who have gone through a period of possessiveness and now stand at the point of more mature understanding. The world can change, but the most revolutionary thing is when fans change first. And in the case of Lisa and Jungkook, the change seems to be happening right before our eyes. However, as spectators and consumers of information, we are also faced with one important question: is all this really real? Or could it be that this is just a narrative constructed to attract public attention and boost the popularity of both parties? We have to admit that the information circulating today comes mostly from social media such as TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and various online forums, which cannot necessarily be used as a basis for absolute truth. Therefore, it is important for all of us to remain skeptical and reflective. Do you really believe that every visual clue or coincidence of that viral moment is real proof of their closeness? Or is this just a one-sided interpretation formed by the expectations of the fans? What if the agency's silence is precisely a deliberate marketing strategy? We are invited to think more deeply. Is what we see a reality, or a construction so carefully designed by the modern entertainment industry? This article does not claim absolute truth. Quite the contrary, it is an open invitation for you to think critically, discuss, and analyze further. Do not let emotions alone determine your attitude to information. The entertainment world often uses public perception as a tool to shape reality. Therefore, let's be spectators who are not only entertained, but also smart and alert.